Today I'm talking about noise canceling earbuds from Vankyo, the Alpha N10. 7.56 miles, 9 minutes, 32 seconds from out, 134 beats per minute today. Taking it nice and easy under some really windy conditions. Fortunately, it was actually pretty warm. Everything was kind of getting wet and melty, but the winds were just pretty strong, so it made the run a little bit difficult today. But a really good day to test out the Vankyo Alpha N10 from a runner's perspective. Now, before I give you my thoughts on these earbuds, I do want to go over some disclosures. These are a set of earbuds that were sent to me via Vankyo for the purpose of review. However, they're not paying me to make this video or to use these earbuds, and they're not going to get a chance to preview any of my footage or my thoughts before you guys get a chance to see this video on YouTube. So with that disclosure out of the way, let's talk about the Vankyo Alpha N10. Now, these are a set of noise canceling earbuds, so they can cancel out the sound around you, or more importantly, from a runner's perspective, they allow pass-through audio, which I think, again, from that runner's perspective, is a must-have feature for earbuds that you're going to be using out there running on the roads. They also have great battery life. In addition to the great battery life per charge, so you can top them up by putting them back into the case several times. And the case is USB-C charging and also wireless charging. So if you got a power mat, you can just set them down on there after you run, and then you'll be topped up and definitely good to go for your next run. In terms of weather and sweat, they are IPX6, so I feel like that's also kind of like a good bare minimum to have. You at least want that, so that way when you're sweating in them in a warmer time of year, not that it's warm right now, but in a warmer time of year, that way none of that stuff gets in there and can interfere with and really corrode those earbuds. So the IPX6, good there. And in terms of interacting with these, you're going to be using touch controls, which, you know, is never my favorite, but, you know, with earbuds that are this small, there's really never a great way to use them. So let's talk about what it's been like for me to live with these earbuds for doing everything for the past month. In terms of interacting with them, one tap on each side increases or decreases the volume, which is kind of an interesting choice, but I feel like, you know, in terms of accidental presses, that's probably like the least offensive thing that could happen, is accidentally turning up or down the volume, so not too bad. Double tapping on either side will toggle pause or play. 3 times, depending on the side, will, like a triple tap, will advance or rewind the tracks. The 2-second long press will rotate between transparency mode, noise cancellation, and then just like all that stuff off. So in case you really wanted to conserve battery and have none of those features on, you could do that as well. Now, it's fine when I'm sitting here. I can usually do what I'm intending when I'm sitting inside. It's when I'm out there running where things get difficult. I mean, especially now in the wintertime, I've got a hat on and thick gloves, so it doesn't even really work. So usually I'm not worrying about interacting with earbuds in the ear. I'm using my phone or my watch if I'm running with the Apple Watch to control all of that anyway. The thing that started to amaze me was the battery life on these. They're saying you get 5 hours per charge, and I think that's pretty much right. I was never able to use it for 5 hours straight, but I did use these for when I was listening to things in the mornings before my run for a couple hours. Then I would go for my run, like an hour and a half to almost 2 hours per run. And then when I'd get back, I'd still have plenty of battery life left. So I do feel like these can definitely take most people through an entire marathon if you're looking for a set of earbuds that can do that. Plus, then you can top up the charge multiple times with the case, total of 30 hours of playtime. In the week that I've had these earbuds, I haven't had to charge them up once. Just recharging them in the case themselves has been enough for me. Now let's talk about like the main features of these earbuds, the noise cancellation, and of course the sound. In terms of noise cancellation, I would say it's pretty good. It does a decent job of canceling out noises. I think the bulk of the noise cancellation, like with most earbuds of this style, are happening because they're like kind of blocking your ear. But they do provide a little bit of additional noise cancellation on top of that. As far as ambient sounds go, it doesn't do a fantastic job of like knocks and like other just noises. But when there's like human voice, for some reason, it seems to be doing really well at canceling that out. So if there's a lot of other people talking in the background, that will kind of get canceled out pretty well. Other noises like doors opening and closing, like that kind of thing, for whatever reason, doesn't seem to get canceled as well. But I'd say overall, pretty good. I'm impressed with the way that this is working. As far as the transparency mode, I'm also thinking that it's pretty good. Relatively impressed with it. It's not the most powerful transparency mode I've ever heard. I would like for it to bring in a couple of the ambient noises a little bit better. Again, when there's like people talking in the background, that's when it's most obvious that the transparency mode is or isn't on. But you know, if there's just like a lot of other noises around you, like environmental noises, then you might not notice quite as much that it's in there. But as far as for me, when I'm out there running, I can definitely tell when these are in the transparency mode or not, because it helps me hear whether there's cars or when there's dogs barking at me as I'm running by the different farms that are in the area. So it's been useful for me to have, and I definitely appreciate the transparency mode. Again, not the best that I've ever heard, but you know, pretty good. I'm very happy with the way that they're performing. And as far as the sound goes, I'd say, again, it's pretty good. Again, not the best sound that I've ever heard, but not the worst either. I feel like I'm getting a pretty neutral kind of sound profile. So for me, I love it when there's just a lot of extra bass, pretty much to a fault. I have terrible taste in, I guess, soundstage. I acknowledge that, but even for me, I felt like there wasn't nearly as much bass as I'd want, but it's not like I felt like it was missing. So I felt like it was good. I felt like it was pretty balanced in terms of like, you know, all right, I'm getting all the entire range of sounds. I'm not getting as much from certain ranges as I would like, but I'm getting what I need. So I felt like that worked out well for me. I listened to music, YouTube videos, and podcasts with this, and I felt like in each of those situations, I didn't really notice the earbuds in a bad way. I didn't feel like I was really missing too much, except for some of the music. When I was like listening to songs where I know what the bass sounds like, I'm like, okay, this sounds a little bit different, a little bit less kind of like full than I normally would like, but still pretty good. And I think that gets me to the ultimate conclusion on these, which is the value. These are selling for $70 right now on Amazon. And I feel like that's right. I feel like they've done a really good job with the pricing. I feel like that's the amount of money that I would want to pay for earbuds that are giving me this kind of quality. And I feel like for that, I feel like I'm getting value. So a lot of times when I'm looking, there's been a lot of earbuds coming out lately, kind of like in the $60 to $100 range. And I'm always like, this gives me a good value for the price, or this is not giving me enough value for the price. I feel like this, I think, kind of sets the standard for this price range. They should sound at least as good as this. The noise cancellation, I feel like in this price range should exist, and it should be at least as good as this. The fullness of the sound should at least be good as this. And the battery life should at least be good as this. So that's how I feel about the Vankyo Alpha N10. A good value. Here's one other last thing though about these earbuds. They came with this card, which will give you like a $25 gift card if you write them a positive review on Amazon. Well, I suppose you don't have to give them a positive review on Amazon, but I think it's kind of implied. So I'm not a huge fan of that. I don't like that kind of thing. I get it. Amazon's a weird space and it's very cutthroat, and you got to do what you got to do to get towards the top of the listings. But that kind of stuff always kind of rubs me very much the wrong way. I'm not a huge fan of that, because otherwise I feel like these are pretty solid earbuds for the price, delivering a really good value for what they cost. So those are my thoughts on the Vankyo Alpha N10. Let me know in the comments below if you have any questions. I do my best to answer them there, or better yet, do a live stream just about every day on YouTube. You can always feel free to come and ask me any question you like. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one.